At the beginning of the story, we see a few prisoners working. Each group of 3 is tied together with the same chain. Among them are Everett, Pete, and Delmar, 3 inmates who have already made up their minds. They're going to escape, and soon enough, they do. But the problem is, they can't go far. They're all chained to each other. Their biggest motivation for breaking out? A hidden treasure. A treasure they believe only they know about. As they keep moving, they come across a railway track. And just then, a train approaches. All 3 run for it. Everett manages to hop on. There are a few passengers already sitting inside. He asks them if anyone can cut their chains. What he forgets is that Pete and Delmar are still on the ground, chained to him. Because of that, Everett is yanked off the train too. And the 3 crash to the ground. They all start blaming each other. That's when they see a trolley coming down the tracks, driven by an old man. Turns out, he's blind. So even though they're dressed like convicts, he can't recognize them. The 3 hop on the trolley. The blind man says something strange. You're going the right way. Soon, you'll find something even bigger than what you're searching for. But the road will not be easy. They take it as a sign from God. They believe the treasure is near. But before that, they must break free from the chains. So, they head to Pete's cousin's house. His cousin helps cut the chains. That night, he feeds them, gives them a place to sleep. But just when everything seems calm, a voice shouts from outside. The police are here. Pete's cousin betrayed them. He'd informed the police in exchange for a reward. The 3 are asleep inside a barn when the police set it on fire. Just then, Pete's cousin's son shows up with a car. The 3 escape. At the last second, the police assume they've burned alive. After a while, their car breaks down. Pete sends his cousin's son back home, and now they need a part to fix the car. But the part? It'll take 4 weeks to arrive. They can't wait. Why? Because they know that in 4 days, a dam will be built over the place where the treasure is buried. They must reach it before then. Everett says, I stole a gold watch from your cousin's house. We can sell it and buy a new car. Pete doesn't like it. He's clearly upset. As they continue their journey, they suddenly see a group of people, dressed in white, walking silently. They follow them. The crowd walks to a lake, and one by one, people start dipping into the water. It's a holy ritual. Pete joins them, steps into the lake. Everett doesn't. He's too worried about messing up his hair. He's obsessed with his hairstyle. Soon, they sell the gold watch, buy a car, and continue their journey. On the way, they pick up a young man named Tommy. He says he's headed to a music club in Boston, where performers are paid $10 turns. Out, he's a musician. So, the 3 of them decide to go with him. At the club, the owner says they'll have to sing old vintage songs. Whatever money the audience gives, they'll get $10 out of it. They perform. The audience loves it. They get paid. That night, while sitting outside their cottage, planning what they'll do after finding the treasure, the police show up again. They hide. The police, thinking they're inside the cottage, set it on fire and leave. But once again, luck is on their side. They were outside the whole time. Only problem? Their car burns inside the cottage. Now, they have no choice but to continue the journey on foot. But as the 3 are walking down a road, a car passes by, and money is literally flying out of it. The man inside the car sees them and stops. He knows all 3 of them already. Turns out, he's a criminal too. He offers them a lift. They hop, and soon after, he turns to Everett and says, Hey, you take the wheel. Everett slides into the driver's seat. The man steps out of the car and suddenly opens fire on a police vehicle chasing them. He shoots out their tires. The police are forced to stop, and now all 4 of them speed away in the car, heading straight to a bank. Once inside, they pull off a full-blown robbery. Later that night, as they're sitting together, the man who gave them a lift says, I'm done. I get bored easily. Can't stick to the same job too long. I'm leaving. And just like that, he walks away. Meanwhile, we cut to the owner of the music club, the one where the trio had performed earlier. Customers at the club keep asking for that same performance, the one done by the 3 escapees. The club owner panics. He tells one of his men, Go find those 3 before another club signs them. Back to our trio. They now have a little money. They visit a store where Everett buys hair gel to keep his perfect hairstyle, but before leaving, they steal the car parked outside the shop and drive away. While cruising through the woods, they suddenly hear singing. A soft, enchanting melody. They follow the sound. It leads them to a riverbank, where 3 beautiful women are washing. Clothes and singing, the women notice them, smile, and offer whiskey. One sip turns into a deep sleep. All 3 men pass out right there. When Delmar wakes up, he sees a pile of clothes lying nearby. Pete's clothes. But Pete? He's missing. Suddenly, a frog hops out from under the clothes. Delmar is shocked. He's convinced the three women used witchcraft and turned Pete into a frog. He runs to Everett and tells him everything. Everett, of course, doesn't believe it. But Delmar is absolutely sure that frog is Pete. So, he grabs the frog, and the two set off to find a wizard, hoping he can turn Pete back into a man. On the way, hunger kicks in. They stop at a small restaurant. There, a fat man approaches. "No cars," he says. "I can teach you everything about fixing yours. In exchange, just get me some good food." So they pack him a meal and head to an open field. There, the fat man eats all the food. Then he beats them both badly, steals their car and money, and disappears. Now bruised and beaten, the two hitch a ride on a hay cart. While on the road, they spot a group of prisoners working along the highway. Among them is Pete. Everett turns to Delmar and asks, "Did Pete have a brother in prison?" Delmar replies, "I don't know." Eventually, they reach the city. It's Everett's hometown. There, he meets his daughter. She tells him, Mom is getting remarried. Her fiancé is here. Everett rushes to meet his wife. He demands, "Why did you tell everyone I was dead? I'm still alive." She replies coldly, "What was I supposed to say? That their father is a criminal in prison?" Just then, her fiancé shows up and beats the hell out of Everett. Everett is forced to leave, but now he's made up his mind. No matter what, he wants his wife back. Heartbroken, he heads out with Delmar to watch a movie, just to distract himself. And inside that theater, a group of prisoners also arrives for a screening arranged just for them. Was brought along, and he had Pete with him. They turn back to look at Pete and ask, "Are you really alive? Didn't those girls turn you into a toad?" Pete says, "What nonsense are you talking about? I got caught by the police, and now Everett." Once again helps Pete escape from the police's grip. They run away together. Pete says, "Forgive me. We can't get the treasure now because the police tortured me so much that I had to tell them the entire plan." Everett replies, "There is no treasure. I lied to you. Actually, I just wanted to return to my wife and my family. And if I hadn't tempted you with the treasure, you would have never escaped with me. We were all chained together. That's why I had to lie." Hearing this, Delmar gets very upset and says, "My sentence was going to be reduced in just 2 weeks, but now that I've escaped from prison, I'll be sentenced for life. What you did was not right." They all start fighting among themselves. Suddenly, they hear strange sounds from the jungle. As they follow the noises, they see a large group of people wearing white robes. They notice Tommy there too. The musician who had told them about the club where they got the dollars back then. Tommy had also said that he sold his soul to the devil in exchange for becoming a great guitarist. This group is actually a cult that worships the devil, and tonight they are about to sacrifice Tommy. But the three want to save Tommy. They manage to rescue him. But in this cult, they spot the fat man too, the one who had stolen their car and money and beat them up. He chases after them, but all four manage to escape. Everett tells his friends, "My wife said that tonight she is going to a dinner party. There are elections coming up in town, and that's why the party is being held, with all the big names attending." Everett wants to request his wife to take him back, so he disguises himself and goes with his friends to perform at that party. They perform the same song that they sang at the club. By now that song has become super famous. Everett requests his wife to return to him, but she refuses. And now, the man running for governor, he's the same person from that cult, the one they saved Tommy from. He recognizes them and announces on the mic that they're convicts and should be arrested. But nobody believes him. He gets angry and starts ranting about his cult views, shocking everyone. Hearing his words, the crowd turns against him and chases him away. Everyone enjoys the performance. The current governor, whose competition just got exposed, is very impressed. He says, "These men are very talented. They deserve a second chance in life." So he pardons all three of them. They feel super happy. Even Everett's wife forgives him and says she wants to be with him again. But Everett notices that she isn't wearing the ring he gave her. Instead, she has her sister's ring. She says, "I left your ring at your father's house. If you really want to marry me again, bring me that ring." Everett says, "Okay, give me some time." And then he sets off with his two friends toward his father's house. The location he had told them earlier for the treasure, it was actually his father's house. They reach there, but the sheriff is already waiting because Pete had told the police about this place and said the treasure was buried there. The sheriff had even dug graves for them and says, "Now no one can save you. I sentence you all to death." They say the governor pardoned them, but the sheriff doesn't believe them. As their end seems near, Everett prays to God. Suddenly, a flood arrives and water rushes in. They grab onto a wooden desk and float to safety. That desk was inside the house. Everett finds the ring inside it. He returns to his wife and gives her the ring. But she says, "This is not the ring you gave me. This is your aunt's ring. If you really want to marry me, then bring the same ring I gave back to you." Saying this, she walks away. So now Everett still has to find that ring in order to marry his wife again.